Hey you, yeah you who clicked on this video. Thanks for giving our channel a shot. And if you will, please do us the honor of watching the video all the way through. Appreciate it. Now onto the video.
Hello, fellow 8-bit heroes. I know it's been a while, but we are going to do another list. This one is for quarter 1 of 2023, and this is the top 5 non-woke series of quarter 1 of 2023. So without further ado, let's get into it. So our first series is The Rig. That is to be found on Amazon Prime streaming, and it is about a Scottish oil rig in the North Sea, which is enveloped in a natural fog that cuts them off from outside communications. Spores found in the fog can infect crew members to experience behavioral changes. After examining the spores, a scientist on board the oil rig suspects that ancient parasites have been unleashed from the ocean floor. Now, this series stars Ian Glenn, who you'll remember as Ser Jorah Mormont in Game of Thrones, and also stars Emily Hampshire, who played Jennifer Goins in 12 Monkeys. So two really fun genre TV alumni. Now, this series is fun because it is multicultural. It has a good mix of genders, and yet there's like the whole girl boss element where the female characters can do no wrong is nowhere to be found here. The gentleman in charge is actually Magnus, played by Ian Glenn, and he does a masterful job of conveying a strong sense of masculinity without it being too much, like without it being overbearing or, what the wokies call toxic. And like I say, I just like the dynamic in this particular series as it comes across. And you'll like it too. If you like horror, if you like suspense, if you like mystery, if you like sci-fi, then The Rig is definitely for you. The whole season can be found on Amazon. I do believe it was renewed for a season 2. So if that's something that you're into, definitely check it out. All right. Number 4 is Lockwood and Company. Now, this is interesting because it takes place in an alternate version of present-day Britain. Ghosts who are deadly to the touch have been rising from the graves for the past 50 years. Adults cannot sense the ghosts, but children can. So teenagers have been organized into licensed ghost hunting agencies to detect and dispose of threats. So Lucy Carlisle, a physically gifted or psychically gifted teenager, has run away from home and come to London in the hope of catching on to an agency. Running out of options, she applies for the job at a tiny outfit run by 2 boys from an old townhouse, Lockwood and Company. So this series was surprising. I completely expected this to be as woke and Mary Sue-ish and just demeaning to the male characters as could possibly be, and was so pleasantly surprised. So Lucy, who is the main character, is one of probably the best written female characters that I've seen in quite a while. And the reason I say that is because she does something that female characters that are geared toward modern audiences never seem to be able to do, and that is have flaws. She is not perfect. She makes mistakes. She learns from those mistakes and she grows. And that in of itself makes this series worthy to be on this list. Now, the other characters, Lockwood, who I love. So Cameron Chapman playing Anthony Lockwood is great. He's charismatic. He's witty. He's very, very mischievous. And he has a purpose. And I enjoy that character. And then there's George. Now, George kind of fits into the nerdy kind of, slightly on the spectrum type trope, but he's also a really cool character. And I just love how this story played out. Now, the sad thing about this series is, as good as it is, Netflix did cancel it. However, you know how this goes. If there's enough support for a series, whether it comes back on Netflix or in some other form, it can come back, and it is a British series, so that gives it even more credence to come back in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So if you like ghostly horror stories, if you like alternate futures, if you like sci-fi, if you like any of these things, check out Lockwood and Company. Number 3 is My Dad, the Bounty Hunter. Now, this series follows the story of Terry, who is followed by his kids, Lisa and Sean, who learn he is a bounty hunter and drawn into a space adventure where their father, an intergalactic bounty hunter, is basically chasing down bounties and trying to keep them safe at the same time. This is a CGI animated series on Netflix. And so let me set the stage for this. Number one, this series is about a black father. Now, it does not demean him in the way that, fathers, in particular fathers of color, have been done for the past, however many decades now. It really shows a need for fathers in a time where that is necessary but often forgotten. And I really enjoy this. I actually watched this I watched this series with my kids and they loved it too. And so I feel like if you have children, you'll love this. It's fun. It's funny. It has really good action. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And if you have kids or if you're just a kid at heart, definitely check this out. So let's get to number two. Number two, The Night Agent. FBI agent Peter Sutherland is drawn into a vast conspiracy about a mole at the highest levels of the United States government. To save the nation, he plunges into a desperate hunt for the traitor while protecting former tech CEO Rose Larkin from the people who murdered her aunt and uncle. Now, this series is wild. I did not expect to like this as much as I did, especially coming off of Netflix's The Recruit. But dude, even though some of the acting is a little weak at times, this series was on point. All I can say is the couple and the baby. And once you get to the episode and see what I'm talking about, you will understand. This series is really cool. It really, it reminds me of Kevin Costner's The Bodyguard in a lot of ways. But it has a lot of political intrigue, a lot of espionage, really fun series. I definitely recommend this. This series almost feels like it was made in a different time, just from the idea that they're not consistently demeaning the white male lead. But definitely check it out. You be the judge. Tell me what you think. So let's get to our number one spot. Number one is The Lazarus Project. Now, this one is a weird one because somehow, some way, we missed this last year. So this came out in June of last year. Second season is out currently. And this is a series from TNT. So let me tell you what it's about. So George wakes up one morning and discovers the calendar has been rewound 6 months, but neither his girlfriend Sarah nor anyone else seems to notice. George has inadvertently stumbled across the Lazarus Project, and as their newest agent, he now lives and works in a world with continuous apocalyptic threat and faces a life-changing experience. So this series is very, very interesting. From the lead to how the story is portrayed. So the lead is male, his black male lead. This is taking place in Britain, basically in our day. And in this series, COVID and things like that have already taken place. And what makes it very interesting is the idea that there are people in the world who are unaffected by changes to the timeline. So essentially this agency or this group called the Lazarus Project has a time machine and they can rewind time. But when that's done, certain people, mostly the people that are in their agency, are unaffected by the changes and thus can make changes to the timeline to avert certain cataclysmic events. This series was really cool. It has a lot of twists and turns, and even though I expected it to be super, super woke, it turns out not to be that. Now, certainly they do mention the unspecified virus of East Agent Origin a few times in the, I think like the first episode, but then that quickly goes away, and the sheer narrative and the action and everything that's going on just really makes this worth a watch. I definitely recommend it. It's 2 seasons in now, and I think it's already greenlit for a 3rd season. Definitely check it out. So if you thought that these series were definitely worth a watch, leave us a comment down in the comment section. And if you have any suggestions of non-woke series that you've seen in the past few months, definitely talk to us about it. We'll be making another video in July for the non-woke series of Q2 of this year. So we'll see you on the next one. 8-Bit Heroes out. Peace.
If you'd like to get a shout out on the channel, then hit that like button, maybe share it with a couple of friends, and do us the biggest honor of all, and subscribe to the channel so you can join the 8-Bit Heroes family. And while you're at it, hit that bell icon so you can be notified when our new videos come out.